everyone. Welcome to Brilliant Public School online edu classes. Today we are going to learn chapter number 9 of class 8 history, the making of national movement 1870s to 1947. As it is going to be a very big chapter, so we are going to divide this chapter in two parts. So let us begin with part 1. In our previous classes, we have already discussed how the British they conquered for the territories and how they took over the kingdoms, even and how they introduced new laws and administrative institutions, the changes they brought in the lives of the peasants and tribals, the education systems were being changed in 19th century, debates regarding the condition of women, challenges to the caste system, social and religious reforms brought by them, and most importantly, the revolt of 1857 and its aftermath. On the basis of what we have already read about these issues, do you think Indians were discontented with the British rule? Why? So let us know first about the discussions that were held in the past. What is this country India and for whom is it meant? India is and was for the people of India, irrespective of caste, color, creed, language and gender. Its resources and systems were meant for all of them. With this realization came the awareness that the British were exercising control over the resources of Indians, and most importantly, they came to control the lives of the people. Um, until this control ended, India could not be for Indians. So, this is what was the emergence of nationalism. Nationalism? Some socio-historian they describe nationalism as the feeling of oneness, of belonging to a nation. So let us know about the reasons why the Indians they were discontented with the British rule of India. Many political organizations were founded in the later half of the 19th century. All these political organizations were functioning and striving for the best possible future of India. The political organizations or associations which were present in India before the formation of Indian National Congress were the British Indian Association, formed in 1851 by Surendranath Banerjee, the Madras Mahajan Sabha or Native Association in 1852, founded by Ananda Charlu, the Pune Sarvajanik Sabha. This was one of the most prominent one, which was being formed in 1870 and by Justice Ranade. Next, the Bombay Presidency Association. It was formed in 1885 by Badruddin Tayabji and Firoz Shah Mehta. Later, with this small organization, they could not function properly because they were concentrated in small areas or in the small places. So there was a desperate need for a mass protest, a bigger organization. There was a need of INC, Indian National Congress. But before going ahead with the Indian National Congress, let us know about the Pune Sarvajanik Sabha. Pune Sarvajanik Sabha. Sarvajanik basically means for all the people or of all the people. The idea behind this Pune Sarvajanik Sabha was people should be sovereign, a model consciousness. Indian people should be empowered to take decisions regarding their affairs. People should be independent to take their own decisions. They should not be suppressed or dominated by any external power. There were many reasons of discontentment against the British rule. So let us know the reasons why the Indians were dissatisfied with the British rule. First, the Arms Act. The Arms Act was passed in 1878, which disallowed Indians from possessing arms. In the same year, Vernacular Press Act was also enacted in an effort to silence those who were critical of the government. The act allowed the government to confiscate the assets of newspaper, including their printing presses, if the newspaper published anything that was objectionable. In 1883, there was a furore over the attempt of government to introduce the Elbert Bill. The bill provided for the trial of British or European persons by the Indians and sought equality between British and Indian judges in the country. Then there came the need of formation of Indian National Congress, wherein the need for all Indian organization of educational Indians had been felt since 1880s, but the Ilbert Bill controversy deepened this desire. The INC was established when 72 delegates from all over the country met at Bombay in December 1885. The leaders like Badruddin Tayab W.C. Banerjee, S. Subramania Iyer, Ramesh Chandra Dutt, Firoz Shah Mehta, all this, and along with them a retired British official, A.O. Hume. He also played a very important role in bringing Indians from the various regions all together. INC can be easily understood under two categories, the moderate phase and the radical phase. The moderate phase was from 1885 to 1905. This moderates were the people those who believed in the politics of prayer, believed in pleading with the British government to bring out about the reforms. They demanded freedom of speech and expression. They called for the civil services examinations to be held in India too, not just in England. In the provincial and the central legislative council, they demanded elected representative. They wanted reduction of land revenue, provision of greater provinces. These were all the demands of the moderates like S.C. Banerjee, Dadabhai Naoroji, Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Then there was a second phase, that was the radicals phase from 1905 to 1918. These were the people who wanted to oppose the British strongly in favor of strikes and boycott. They wanted complete independence. They criticized the moderates for the politics of prayer. Some examples of radicals like Lal, Bal, and Pal. It has often been said that the Congress in the first 20 years was moderate in its objective and methods. During this period, it demanded a greater voice for Indians in the governance and in administration. It wanted legislative council to be more representative, and it demanded the Indians to be placed in high positions in the government. For this, it called for civil services examinations to be held not just only in London but also in India. The demand for Indianization of the administration was the part of a movement against racism. Even they demanded separation of judiciary from the executive. The repeal of Arms Act was another more important demand in the freedom of speech or expression. The early Congress also raised a number of economic issues. Even they wanted the reduction of revenue, cut in military expenditure, more funds for irrigation. It passed many resolutions on salt tax, treatment of Indian laborers abroad, and the suffering of forest dwellers caused by an interfering forest administration. All this shows that despite being a body of educated elite, the Congress did not talk only on behalf of professional groups, zamindars and industrialists. The moderate leaders, they wanted to develop public awareness about the unjust nature of British rule. They published newspaper, wrote articles and showed how British rule was leading to the economic ruin of the country. By the 1890s, many Indians began to raise questions about the political style of Congress. In Bengal, Maharashtra, and Punjab, leaders such as Bipin Chandra Pal, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and Lala Lajpat Rai were beginning to explore more radical objectives and methods. They criticized the moderates for the politics of prayer and emphasized the importance of self reliance and constructive work. They argued that people must rely on their own strength and not on the good intention of the government. People must fight for Swaraj. Tilak raised the slogan, "Freedom is my birthright and I shall have it." In 1905, Viceroy Lord Curzon partitioned Bengal. At that time, Bengal was the biggest province of British India, including Bihar and parts of Orissa. The British argued for dividing Bengal for reasons of administrative convenience. But what did this administrative convenience mean? Whose convenience did it represent? Clearly, it was closely tied to the interest of British officials and businessmen. Even so, instead of removing the non-Bengali areas from the province, the government separated East Bengal and merged it with Assam. Perhaps the main British motive were to curtail the influence of Bengali politicians and to split Bengali people. The partition of Bengal infuriated people all over the India. All sections of the Congress, the moderates or the radicals, they all opposed it. Large public meetings and demonstrations were organized and novel method of mass protest was developed. This struggle that unfolded October 1905, the day the partition took place, no business transactions were conducted. The day was observed as a day of mourning. The partition, however, became a great unifying factor. The freedom struggle became stronger, more organized, and brought all the sections of society into it. This gave rise to Swadesi movement. Swadeshi movement, the method of boycott aimed at asking people to boycott British goods or the goods manufactured in Britain. This would help India to move away from the status of being a dumping ground for the British goods. The movement spread to in all parts of India. People refused to use the goods manufactured in Britain and burnt those that they had. Huge public bonfires were made and British goods were burnt. People who used British goods were severely criticized. Women and students also participated in this movement with great enthusiasm. The boycott movement against the partition of Bengal soon converted into Swadesi movement. Swadesi means of one's own country. This movement was very strong in Bengal, but it was clearly visible in other parts of Andhra, where it was known as Vande Mataram movement. The Swadesi movement encouraged the idea of self-help. The British had always wanted to break the unity of Hindus and the Muslims. They experimented it in the partition of Bengal by dividing both the communities. This policy came to be known as divide and rule policy. The All India Muslim League was founded in 1906 by Aga Khan, Nawab Mohsin ul Mulk and the Nawab of Dhaka. The partition of Bengal was supported by Muslim League. Separate Muslim electorate was the appeal by the League to the Viceroy Lord Minto. With this, we end our first part and rest will continue in the second part. We'll get to know more about the reforms brought by Mahatma Gandhi and his followers and how India attained its independence. Till the time, happy learning everyone.